How to stay consistent in learning English and never quit. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever started learning English full of energy, but after a few days or weeks, stopped? You're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about how you can avoid that, how to stay consistent, and how to make English practice part of your daily life, even if life gets busy. By the end of this session, you'll have clear, practical steps to keep learning every day, and your brain will thank you for it.
Most English learners start with energy, excitement, and motivation. On the first day, they open apps, listen to podcasts, take notes, and repeat new words. But something strange usually happens after a few days. The motivation fades and the practice becomes irregular. Then the learner says, "I'll start again next week," and next week never comes. This pattern is so common that it deserves its own name, the language learning gap, the space between intentions and actions. In this episode, we are going to talk about how to avoid that gap. How you can stay consistent in learning English, even when life gets busy, even when motivation goes down, even when you feel tired. We will look at how consistency works, what psychology and research say about it, and how you can turn English practice into a habit, not a chore. Let's begin. What happens when we lose consistency? When we start strong and then take a break, something important happens in the brain. Learning a language means forming connections between sounds, words, and meanings. These connections are like paths in the brain. When you practice every day, these paths become stronger, like roads turning into highways. But when you stop practicing, those connections weaken. The brain doesn't delete knowledge immediately, but it stops strengthening it. That means next time you come back, learning feels slower and harder. Your brain needs to rebuild those connections. This is exactly why consistency matters more than long, infrequent studying. 1 hour every day is more effective than 5 hours once every 2 weeks.
Motivation versus habit. What really keeps us going? Most people think motivation keeps them consistent. But research in psychology shows something different. Motivation is powerful for the first few days.
After that, motivation becomes unreliable. It depends on your mood, your energy, your schedule, and emotions, all things you cannot control fully. The real engine behind consistency is habit. Habits are behaviors your brain automates. Once something becomes a habit, the brain does it almost without thinking. This saves mental energy and makes consistency much easier. To build a habit, we need 2 things. 1. A small daily action. 2. A trigger that reminds you to do it. For example, brushing your teeth. You don't decide every morning whether to brush or not, it's automatic. So how can we make English practice automatic? Make practice small and clear. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is setting big goals. I want to study 2 hours every day. I want to finish this book in 1 week. I want to learn 500 words this month.
These goals sound motivating at first, but they are not sustainable, especially for beginners. When the goal feels too big, the brain resists it. Instead, choose a tiny action that you cannot refuse. For example, listen to English for 5 minutes. Repeat 5 words. Read 1 paragraph.
Speak for 5 minutes.
These are small enough that your brain does not resist them. The secret is not the amount, it's the routine. If you do 5 minutes every day, after 1 month you will have practiced for 150 minutes. That is real progress, and it didn't feel heavy or stressful.
Use a reminder or trigger. Habits need triggers, cues that tell your brain it's time. Triggers can be time of day, for example, right after breakfast. A location, for example, at your desk. A routine, for example, after coffee. A visual cue, for example, sticky notes. For example, every day after I finish breakfast, I will listen to English for 5 minutes. This simple rule connects the new action, such as listening to something you already do, like finishing breakfast. Your brain then learns, after breakfast equals English time. This technique is supported by research on habit formation in humans. It is much more effective than relying on random motivation.
Track your progress. The brain loves feedback. When you see progress, it triggers dopamine, the reward chemical. That makes you feel good and want to continue. So tracking progress is important. You can use a simple checklist. Monday, listened 5 minutes.
Tuesday, repeated 10 words.
Wednesday, read a paragraph. You don't need fancy apps. Even drawing a check mark on a paper calendar works. After a few days, you will start to see a visual pattern. And your brain will start to avoid breaking the chain.
This is something that many successful learners and even artists and athletes use to stay consistent.
Understand why you want to learn English. Long-term consistency also needs a reason deeper than, I want to speak better. Your reason must be personal and emotional. It should be specific. So, ask yourself,
why do I want to learn English? How will my life change when I can speak fluently? What problems will it solve for me? Your answer could be to communicate with international friends, to get a better job, to watch movies without subtitles, to travel without fear. When your reason connects emotionally, consistency becomes easier because the brain values the outcome.
Turn English into something you enjoy. Another key to consistency is making learning enjoyable. If you practice English the same way you do boring chores, your brain will resist it. But if you connect English with pleasure, music, stories, topics you love, then consistency suddenly becomes fun. For example, if you love football, watch interviews of players in English. If you love cooking, watch cooking videos in English. If you enjoy music,
Listen to English songs with lyrics. When learning feels like entertainment, your brain starts to seek it, not avoid it.
Use social accountability. Humans are social creatures. When we tell others about our goals, we become more consistent because we don't want to disappoint others or break promises. You can use this for language learning too. Some ideas. Join a language group. Tell a friend your study plan. Post your progress on social media. Use a language partner to practice regularly. Even a weekly call with a friend in English can massively increase your consistency. Don't wait for perfect conditions. A common mistake is waiting for the right moment. I will study English when I have more time. When I am less busy. When I feel more motivated. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will almost never start.
Life will always have interruptions. Work, family, chores, tired days. So you need a plan that works in real life, not in ideal conditions. Remember, small daily actions beat big occasional ones.
What to do when you lose focus. No one stays perfect forever. Some days you will miss practice. That is okay. Here is a key mindset shift. Missing one day is not failure. Missing 2 days in a row is a warning sign. If you find yourself skipping more than one day, use these steps.
Step 1. Say, I will restart today. The brain responds to firm decisions more than vague intentions. Step 2. Do the smallest possible action. If you planned 10 minutes and you keep missing it, today do 2 minutes. Then tomorrow do 3. Small steps rebuild momentum. Step 3. Remind yourself why you started. Go back to your reason. Why do you want this? This simple cycle helps you stay consistent even after breaks. Celebrate small wins. Every time you complete your daily task, even if it was just 2 minutes, celebrate it. Not in a big way, just a mental nod or a small positive thought. Your brain will remember that feeling and want to repeat it. Final thoughts. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about repetition over time.
Learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. By making your practice small, automatic, connected to your daily life, and meaningful, you can turn consistency from a struggle into a natural part of your routine. Start with one small action today. Repeat it tomorrow. Keep going. Because consistency is the bridge between wanting and achieving. And your brain is ready. It just needs the right direction.